Something is waking up beneath Hawkins, something that was never meant to return. And in the first 5 minutes of Season 5, we finally see the storm that's been waiting in the dark. The camera opens on a sky that looks broken. Thick clouds twist above Hawkins like they're being pulled by invisible hands. Lightning flashes, not white, but a deep, angry reed that stains the clouds like blood in water. The wind doesn't blow, it howls. It feels less like weather and more like a warning. We move slowly down from the sky, past the empty streets, past the quiet homes, into the ground itself. The soil shakes, tiny cracks forming, almost as if something below is trying to breathe. Every few seconds, the earth pulses, not randomly. Like a slow, steady heartbeat, the frame shifts, and suddenly we're in the upside down. The air is thick, filled with floating ash-like particles. It's cold, dead silent, and darker than ever before. But tonight, something is different. The entire landscape trembles, groaning under a force that isn't familiar even to this twisted world. The vines tighten and loosen as if alive. The red lightning here is louder, sharper, splitting the sky like screams. A low, echoing thump shakes the ground again. Then again, and again, a rhythm. A call dot far in the distance, movement starts. At first it's just a shape, a shadow, slow, steady, almost human. But not quite. It walks like it remembers being human once, but its body doesn't follow the rules anymore. Limbs twitch. Shoulders jerk. Its steps leave a trail of dead spores that crumble behind it. The camera follows this figure through a forest of dark, twisted trees. Each tree bends away from it as it passes, like even the upside down itself fears its presence. A heavy fog rolls in, but the figure cuts through it with no hesitation, like it knows exactly where it's going. Like it has a mission. Another pulse hits the ground. This one is stronger. Rocks crack. Vines snap. The air shakes with a deep, bass-like vibration that feels almost alive. The shadow stops walking. It slowly turns its head toward the sky, where the red lightning gathers into a single point, almost like an eye staring down at it. For a moment, everything freezes. No ash falls. No sound moves. Just stillness. The kind that comes right before something terrible happens. And then, in the next flash of lightning, we finally see it. Two glowing eyes, bright, empty, watching, not searching, not curious. Watching like it has been waiting for this very moment. The ground splits open beside the figure. A long crack spreads across the landscape like a wound tearing through flesh. Strange red light shines from deep inside the crack, pulsing like the heart of some giant creature waking up after years of sleep. The shadow's eyes flicker. Not with fear, but with recognition. It steps closer to the crack. The red light grows brighter. The heartbeat grows louder, and the sky above shakes with the power of something ancient returning. The camera zooms in slowly, and just as the figure reaches the edge of the glowing tear in the ground, the heartbeat stops for one silent second. Then a blinding red flash fills the screen. Cut to black. A whisper slips through the darkness. So soft you almost miss it. It begins. Morning light falls over Hawkins like a thin blanket trying to hide a deep wound. The town looks calm from far away, but up close, nothing truly feels calm anymore. Buildings repaired after the so-called earthquake still show cracks under the paint. Streets are open again, but people walk with their heads down, moving fast, pretending life is normal. Everyone knows something is wrong. They just don't have the courage to say it out loud. Narrator's voice would glide across the scene as we watch the small town breathe in a quiet tension. A school bell rings. Kids laugh, but the laughter sounds forced, like they're trying too hard. Parents watch them from cars with unsure eyes. Even the sky feels heavier, as if it remembers what happened last year. As if it remembers the night the ground almost ripped open. Inside a small bedroom across town, Mike sits at his desk. A stack of papers in front of him, messy handwriting filling every page. Letters to 11. Some long, some short. Some angry. Some hopeful. Most never sent. He picks up another sheet, tries to write again, but stops halfway through the first sentence. He sighs, folds the paper, and pushes it into a drawer already stuffed full. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, 11 is staring at the horizon from a dusty window. She holds one of Mike's old letters in her hands, reading it again even though she already knows every line. Her eyes look older now, like she's carrying a weight no kid should carry. She whispers his name, almost like she's trying to reach him with her voice alone. But there's a distance between them bigger than geography, back in Hawkins. Dustin is surrounded by wires and metal pieces in his cluttered room. His desk now looks like a command center. He works fiercely, turning a screw, adjusting a dial, building some kind of new long-range radio. His eyes are tired but focused. He's chasing something. Maybe answers. Maybe control? Maybe hope? He taps the side of the device, listening to a faint static loop. He grins, only for it to vanish quickly as the static glitches into a short, sharp tone that feels out of place. He freezes, frowns, but the sound disappears before he can catch it. He makes a note anyway. Lucas walks through the gym, bouncing a basketball. The sound echoes too loudly in the empty room. He dribbles, shoots, dribbles again. His body moves automatically, like he's trying to distract himself. When he stops to catch his breath, he looks toward the bleachers, toward the exact seat where Max used to sit during practice. His expression softens and breaks all at once. He turns away quickly, wiping his eyes before they can fully fill, and then there's Will. Will stands at the edge of town, staring at the forest. His friends think he's fine. His family hopes he's fine. But Will knows better. For weeks he's been feeling something. Not voices. Not visions. Something colder. Something closer. It starts as a chill in the back of his neck, then grows, spreading through him like a slow wave. This morning, the feeling hits him hard. A sudden pressure. A sharp pulse. A flash behind his eyes. In that flash, he sees it, the upside down, but not the way it used to be. The sky is darker. The ground is angrier. And something is moving there, huge and alive, shaping the air like a storm, forcing its way into the world. Will shuts his eyes tightly. The vision fades, but the dread stays. He whispers, "It's starting again." Even though he already knows the truth, it never stopped. The camera pulls back, showing the entire town, small, fragile, pretending to be normal. But cracks run deeper than the streets. Something underneath is waking, and Hawkins, no matter how hard it tries, cannot hide from it any longer. Night arrives early in Hawkins. The sun slips behind the trees too fast, leaving a blue-gray shadow across the town that feels heavier than usual. Streetlights flicker one by one as if unsure whether to stay on. The wind moves in short bursts, carrying a strange echo that fades before anyone can hear it clearly. But one person does. Dustin. His room glows with dim orange lamplight. The new radio he spent weeks building sits in the center of his desk, wires snaking across the floor like restless roots. Dustin leans forward, adjusting a small metal dial with the focus of someone performing surgery. The device hums softly, its signal steady, calm, until it suddenly isn't. A harsh crackle bursts through the speakers. Not normal static, deeper, thicker, alive. Dustin jerks upright, eyes widening. He taps the radio. The crackle shifts, turning into a weird, stretched-out hiss, like a whisper dragged across metal. He reaches for a pair of headphones, slips them on, and listens closer. His breathing slows. His face tightens. A voice tries to form through the noise. It's broken, layered, almost drowned. But there's something familiar buried in it. A single word rises from the static. Help. Dustin freezes. His heart races. That voice, it sounds like Hopper. Not clear. Not full. But definitely him. Or something trying to sound like him. The radio squeals. Lights in Dustin's room flicker twice. He rips off the headphones and stands up fast. For a moment, the house is silent. Then every lamp and bulb in the room flickers again, this time in perfect sync. Like a signal passing through the whole building. Across town, the same thing happens. Streetlights blink. Kitchen lamps flash. Neon signs stutter in and out. And behind each flicker is a soft vibration. Thump thump, thump thump. Like a heartbeat spreading across Hawkins. Will is the first to sense it. He sits on his bed, hands gripping the blanket tightly. A cold wave shoots through his chest. His breath catches. He stares forward, unable to move, because the feeling is too strong, stronger than any warning he's felt before. The air around him grows sharp and heavy, as if the world is inhaling but never exhaling. Then he sees it. Not a full vision, just a flash. A map of Hawkins, glowing with pulse-like ripples spreading outward from one point. Dustin's house. Will gasps and doubles over, gripping his chest. This isn't a memory. This isn't the past. This is happening now, across town. Lucas is closing his locker in the empty school hallway when the lights above him flicker violently. The sound of buzzing electricity jolts the quiet building. He looks up just as the hallway lights shut off completely, leaving him in dim emergency glow. Lucas whispers, "Not again," knowing the feeling all too well. Mike is the next to react. Sitting in his living room, he watches the lamp beside him blink 3 times. He stares at it, unsure at first, until the TV turns on by itself, showing nothing but static. His stomach drops. He grabs his jacket and bolts out the door, instincts kicking in before fear can stop him. Back in Dustin's room, the radio emits one last burst of static, sharp, violent, wrong. Then suddenly, a whisper slips through the noise. It's breaking through. The radio dies. Dead silent. Dustin stands still, breathing hard. His mind races. His hands shake. He knows what everyone in Hawkins has been trying to forget. The gate didn't fully close. The danger didn't end. Something is pushing its way back into their world. And this time, it's not just leaking through, it's evolving. The camera pulls back from Dustin's house, rising above the neighborhood. One by one, streetlights flicker out in a wave pattern, like something crawling underneath the ground. Moving fast. The heartbeat-like pulse returns, louder, closer. Hawkins is waking up again. But so is the darkness beneath it. The screen fades into the upside down again, but this time it feels different. The air is thicker, heavy, like it carries thousands of whispers trapped inside it. Every floating particle hangs motionless, suspended in a strange stillness. Even the vines that usually twitch with life curl inward, as if bracing for something they're afraid to witness. The red lightning above doesn't strike, it builds. It gathers in slow spirals, swirling around a single point in the sky, creating a glowing wound of light. Each crackle echoes across the empty, wasted land, bouncing off twisted forests and crumbling ruins, like the world itself is waiting for an order to move. The shadow from before the figure with the glowing eyes stands at the edge of the massive crack in the ground. The red light from within paints its face, or whatever remains of it, in a harsh glow. The heartbeat-like pulse rises again, but now it's faster, louder, desperate, almost like something trapped below is fighting to breathe free. And then the ground expands. The crack widens with a violent jolt, tearing open with a sound like metal screaming. Chunks of rock crumble inward. Vines recoil, snapping back like they're afraid to be near it. The figure leans forward. Inside the crack, something is moving, huge, shifting shapes hidden by the bright red glow. Not one creature. Not many. Something in between. A living mass that looks both alive and endless. The light pulses. Once. Twice. Then holds bright enough to bleach the whole world red. The figure reaches its hand toward the light. The air ripples around its fingers as if reality itself is bending away from the touch. A low, deep roar rumbles from inside the crack, low enough to vibrate through the ground, through the air, through the screen. Suddenly, the scene cuts to Hawkins. The town is asleep, unaware. But something is happening beneath the surface. Streetlights glow unnaturally bright, stretching shadows across empty roads. Power lines hum like they're filled with more than electricity. Dogs bark at nothing. Windows rattle in their frames. A quiet vibration shakes the town like a giant invisible hand is brushing against it. Inside his room, Will bolts upright from bed, gasping. His eyes widen, pupils shrinking. He feels something ripping through him, not a vision, not a memory, but a direct pull. Something on the other side sees him, calls to him. Wants him. 11 hundreds of miles away, wakes at the same moment. Her lights flicker in patterns she hasn't seen since her darkest days. She sits up slowly, confusion turning into fear. A familiar pressure curls in her chest, rising like a wave. Back in the upside down, the shadow steps fully to the edge of the glowing crack. Its eyes brighten. The pulse inside the ground syncs perfectly with its movements. Then it speaks, a whisper. Barely sound. More like a thought forced into the air. Open. The crack explodes, a blast of red energy erupts upward like a volcano of light, shooting through the sky, tearing through clouds, shattering the heavy silence. The shockwave races outward, flattening everything in its path. Trees bend violently. Dust storms erupt. The lightning spirals outward in massive rings, spreading like ripples across a frozen lake. Cut to Hawkins, every light in town flares white-hot. Cars shake. Windows crack. The ground ripples in a perfect circle. Will clutches his chest and screams. 11's nose bleeds instantly. Mike and Lucas stumble as the floor trembles. Across the town, alarms blare, the dogs howl. Power lines burst with sparks. Something enormous, ancient, and intelligent has forced its way between worlds, back in the upside down as the light fades. The figure stands at the edge of a now massive opening wide enough for anything to crawl through. Smoke rises from the glowing tier. Shapes move inside it. Many shapes. Some tall, some crawling. Some that don't look like anything that should exist. The figure tilts its head slightly, almost mockingly, almost amused, and whispers one final line. It's time. The screen slams to black. A sharp, delayed heartbeat echoes once. Then the title appears in silence. Stranger Things Season 5, The Final War begins.